I get it. Everyone wants to save money, and so do I. 5% on $500,000 is $25,000. That's not pocket change. That's a lot of money for anyone, really. A lot of people think that selling your house without a realtor saves you money because you save the commission. In most cases, you actually walk away with less. The difference could be tens of thousands of dollars. And listen, this is not just my opinion as a realtor. This is such a heavily debated topic that it has been researched, and the stats are there to back it up. And before we dive in, quick favor, 99% of you watching are not subscribed yet. Hitting that button takes 2 seconds, and it really helps me keep making videos like these. So if you do, I truly appreciate it. So now let's jump right in. Part one, probably the most important part of the entire video. It's the statistics. You guys all want to know the stats. To start off, it's really important to understand that CREA governs real estate in Canada. CREA is the Canadian Real Estate Association. Now, they've already come out and said that over 90% of homes sold in Canada were listed on the MLS. They publish monthly and yearly reports, but they don't break out the for sale by owner data. Luckily, the US and Canadian housing markets follow nearly identical patterns, and the National Association of Realtors in the United States reports that for sale by owner homes typically sold for less than the selling price of other homes. They sold for a median of $380,000 in 2023, which is still far lower than the median selling price of all homes, which was $435,000. Agent-assisted homes sold for a median of $435,000. That's a $55,000 difference, okay? Now, what's the commission on that house? So let's say 5% at $435,000, that's just under $22,000. Basically, what these stats are saying, on average, for sale by owners saved $22,000 in realtor commission, but they left $55,000 on the table. That's a net negative of $33,000. And remember, that's before you factor in all the headaches that came with it. Photography, videography, staging arrangements, counter offers, writing offers, marketing, signage, verifying title and legal description. I mean, it's no wonder that for sale by owners accounted for just 6% of all homes sold in 2024. According to the same report, the top 3 hardest tasks for sale by owners sellers reported were 1. Getting the price right. 2. Selling within the planned time frame. And 3. Understanding and completing the paperwork. So not only are for sale by owners making less, they're also taking on extra stress. Moving on, part 2. So why do for sale by owners sellers leave money on the table? Well, it comes down to 3 things. Number 1 is exposure. Over 90% of buyers use the MLS when searching. So that's Realtor.ca in Canada, plus brokerages, Zillow, Redfin, Zolo. For sale by owner homes do not get that reach. Fewer views equals fewer offers, and as a result, lower selling price. Number 2 is pricing mistakes. The reality is the general public just doesn't have access to the same tools that realtors do. And like I said, the biggest challenge that for sale by owners had back in 2024 that they've reported themselves was pricing. Many of them will underprice out of fear or just overprice and then let the property sit there for months on end until they're forced to bring it down. But by then it's already too late. The damage is done. Either way, they're losing leverage. Number 3 is negotiation. This one's the killer. Realtors negotiate on the daily. It's what they do. For sale by owners, on the other hand, less experience, right? You probably negotiated once or twice every 10 years. And for what? With Bell for an internet package, or with the used car salesman to get a pair of winter tires included? Look, the reality is when you're about to sell your house, okay, a $500,000 asset, which is your home, it gets emotional. And that's what makes it dangerous. So I've got this book here, Never Split the Difference by Chris Voss. You might have heard of it. Chris Voss is a former FBI hostage negotiator, and he wrote this book to basically explain what are the top deal-killing things that people do during negotiations, right? And these apply just basically anywhere, especially in real estate. In this book, he explains many different deal-killing mistakes that people do that just compromise your position within a negotiation. And in this video, I'll list the top 3 because I think they're the most relevant to this video that I'm making. Number 1 is splitting the difference, as the title says, right? So Voss calls this lazy negotiation, and it is. Meeting in the middle often just means that you're just avoiding market value just to come to an agreement. So you're leaving money out on the table, right? And this might be a good tool when you're a buyer because you're trying to knock down the list price which is not the case when you're selling. The second topic that he explains in his book is getting emotionally reactive. Emotions cloud judgment. You concede too much or too fast when emotional. And selling your $500,000 home will make you emotional. I don't care who you are. It will make you emotional. Trust me. Like I said, realtors negotiate all the time and they won't get emotional. Realtors can stay objective simply because it's not their home. And they're backed by data and comps and the experience. Working with a realtor allows you to be emotional with them because they're working for you, they're working for your best interest. And anytime that you have to communicate with the buyers or the buyer's agent, it'll be done through the realtor. The realtor will take care of that. If they're a good realtor, they will be sure to not show any emotion at all. Whereas if you had to communicate with the buyers or even through a buyer's agent, you're going to show emotion, I guarantee you, because you're talking about the sale of your home. Your realtor will also comfort you and give you suggestions throughout the entire process. And according to the NAR report earlier, 38% of for sale by owner sellers sold to a relative, friend, or neighbor. 38%. And I promise you, those people are going to ask you for the friends and family discount. What are you going to do then? And the third thing that Voss covers in his book is talking too much instead of listening. I mean, this one's true in every aspect of life, but especially in negotiations, you don't want to be the one talking because the one talking is the one revealing information. For sale by owner sellers usually deal with unrepresented buyers, meaning that it's a buyer that is not represented by either a real estate agent or a broker. Now, you're going to have to show the buyers the house, right? And who do you think's doing most of the talking when that's happening? The seller, of course. This immediately puts you in a vulnerable position because the buyers are going to go around asking you a ton of questions, and by law, you must answer truthfully. Realtors, brokers, sellers, nobody is allowed to lie. Failing to do so can lead you in legal trouble. Plus, mandatory disclosures are a minefield. Like if you just miss one, you could be facing a lawsuit. At the end of the day, for sale by owner isn't really about saving the 5% commission. It's about risking tens of thousands of dollars plus opening yourself up to legal and emotional landmines. All right, so now let's say that you are a seller that is for sale by owner and you're dealing with a represented buyer. So someone that is represented by a real estate agent or a brokerage. Here's what most sellers don't realize about the commission. The buyer has signed a buyer representation agreement. In that contract, it states that the brokerage is entitled to a commission. Now, usually the standard in Ontario is 2.5%. If the seller refuses to pay it, then the obligation doesn't just disappear, it shifts. The buyer becomes responsible for paying the realtor's commission out of pocket. So the realtor will disclose this to their client as they are legally obligated to do so. And what do you think happens most of the time? It's a deal breaker. Buyers don't want to pay out of pocket when every other property on the MLS has the commission already covered by the seller. Now, even if the buyer tries to break their contract with the realtor, it doesn't solve the problem. And that's because of the holdover clause. If they purchase within the holdover period, the brokerage is still entitled to the commission outlined in the agreement. So for sale by owner sellers not only cut down their buyer pool dramatically, but also risk losing out on perfectly good offers because of how representation is structured. So what's the alternative? Work with the realtor. Here's what a good realtor actually brings to the table. Number one is massive exposure. Your property gets listed on the MLS, instantly syndicating to Realtor.ca, brokerage sites, Zillow, Redfin, Zolo. It will show up everywhere that serious buyers are looking. Number two is accurate pricing. We don't guess, we know based on the market data, the comparables, the absorption rate, and the demand in that area. Number three is skilled negotiation. Realtors negotiate daily. We know when to push hard and when to slow down, and we know how to keep emotions out of the deal so you don't leave money on the table. Number four is legal protection. Real estate transactions are full of disclosures, clauses, and potential liabilities. One missed detail could lead to a lawsuit, and the same goes for realtors. The difference is realtors have errors and omissions insurance in case of an event like that. Realtors also protect you by making sure that everything is done by the book. And number five, professional marketing. From photography, videography, staging, digital campaigns, open house, your home is always shown in its best. So when you combine all of this together, it's not just about the 5% commission. It's to ensure that you sell faster, with less stress, and with more money in your pocket. In conclusion, Selling without a realtor is not saving you money at all. It's actually costing you more money. I mean, the stats prove it. The stats prove that for sale by owners are selling for less money with more stress, with more legal issues and less buyer competition. If you want to protect your investment and actually walk away with more money in your pocket, then don't gamble away your biggest asset. Work with a professional. If you're thinking about selling or just curious to know how much your house could go for in today's market, then head to my website. And as always, if you like this video, then be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. It really helps me out. I would truly appreciate it. And I'll see you in the next one.